Dan and Amy. So CPAC this weekend, it's Milo free. And it's Milo free because of interviews that surfaced, as we've talked about the last couple of days, where Milo seems to advocate for, frankly, pedophilia. And he had a press conference yesterday resigning as the tech editor of Breitbart. He apologized, although did not walk back the way he deals with being a victim of sexual assault himself. But it's interesting, the reaction and the consequences. And this is not a moral relativist argument because somebody that's of the right engaged in bad behavior and suffered consequence. We highlight somebody of the left who did the same thing and didn't suffer the same consequences. No. So the person on the right shouldn't have suffered the consequences. The point, as I often say, is we could be them, but they couldn't be us. And that's what we want to remember. Nevertheless, it is useful to point up the hypocrisy on this issue. And Bill Maher, who Milo was just with on over the past weekend, he once tackled this topic as well.
Yeah, it was about the Seattle school teacher, 35-year-old, who became impregnated with her 13-year-old student at the time. You remember, Mary Jo Capecci?
Mary Kay Letourneau, a teacher from Seattle, who is in jail because she is in love. That's how I view it. I admit that it's unorthodox. She is 35. The boy is 14. He was younger when they started. But the big story this week...
Has he been bar mitzvahed?
Have I?
No, is he?
Oh. Okay. But she is pregnant again. That was the story this week. With the second child by this boy. So basically they're having a family and they're keeping the mother in jail because she won't conform to what society feels should be the perfect American family.
Yeah, it's perfect. My dad's 14 years older than me.
Absolutely sickening.
What is sickening?
A woman who's over 20 years older and she raped this kid.
Raped?
Well.
Come on.
She forced.
She forced? How do you know? And how can you?
Well, how do you know that she didn't rape him?
How can a woman
know that she didn't seduce him?
How can a woman rape a man?
She did. That's the age of consent. But it's okay if Bill Maher supports pedophiliacs. But it's not okay. Pedophilia, but it's not okay if Milo does.
It's a statutory, right? It's the age of consent. It's statutory. It's not a question of consent. You don't have the standing to offer consent in that situation. So that was a story and commentary from Bill Maher that had the politically incorrect, right, talk about an oxymoron, audience in stitches. Interesting. Gives you a little bit of insight into the value system of the left, and so just consider their value system and their situational ethics. Again, that's not excusing Milo or arguing with the consequences that befell him, but it is highlighting the difference between the two sides. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Jesse Watters. Of course, you know Jesse Watters. He's the O'Reilly Factor correspondent and host of his own show, Watters World, on Fox News, and he is going to be at the Milo Free CPAC this weekend. Jesse, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan and Amy. How you guys doing? I just arrived here at CPAC. Place is off the hook, so happy to be here.
What's the Milo buzz thus far?
Well, I just arrived, so I haven't taken in any buzz yet, but I'm going to be asking a lot of the participants here about Milo and what their take is. I mean, my first kind of gut instinct here is this guy is a provocateur thing to get a reaction and kind of, live by the sword, die by the sword. It looks like his career is imploding. He's going to have to take some time off and rehab himself and then maybe try to reinvent himself because he had a pretty rough week, as you guys all know.
Yeah, it's been a rough 96 hours for him. So CPAC is becoming more mainstream. It's not just Ron and Rand Paul. Are you going to be talking to people and asking them why they're there, or are you focusing specifically on Milo?
Well, I mean, I'm going to touch on Milo a little bit. I'm doing a package for the O'Reilly Factor. We're going to ask people, why do conservatives still have a problem with Trump, or who's your favorite conservative? And then for my show, which is going to be airing on Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern this weekend, I'm going to be asking about Milo and, asking why conservatives can't seem to get it together in Washington still. They haven't done much in Congress so far. And, so we're just kind of taking the pulse to the CPAC crowd, basically.
So, Waters World again this weekend, Saturday, 7 p.m. Chicago time. A number of topics to be covered. One of them, I understand, you're going to talk to persons that are here illegally, ask them about their journey and their opinions about Donald Trump. What's the angle of innocence there? What do you hope to get from those interviews?
Well, obviously there's 11 million illegal aliens here in the country, and Trump's starting to undertake some raids. And these DHS memos just came out where they're going to start getting tough. And are these people here? Are they scared of Trump? Are they in the shadows? What does that mean? You always hear people are in the shadows. What does that mean? So we're going to be talking to some illegal aliens up in the Bronx and finding out when they got here. Do they fear police? Are they committing crimes? One person I talked to, because we just taped it, said he's been back and forth across the border 3 times. So I don't think there's a lot of fear when it comes to immigration enforcement in this country, but that's all about to change.
Yeah, but that's Vicente Fox, who keeps coming back and forth.
No, the person that you just interviewed, that he comes back and forth. How is he sneaking back in every time? Did he disclose that?
Yeah, I mean, he says it's very easy to cross the southern border. He comes across via Arizona. I think I talked to 3 people who said they came through Arizona. That seems to be a real hole down there. They pay the coyotes a lot of pesos, and they save up for it. And, it's a long journey. They don't just come across in like a day or two. It takes several days, sometimes longer, and they make it all the way up to places like New York. So it's pretty easy if you're an illegal to get all the way up through the country, but I think that's about to change once that wall gets built.
One of the things that you do that I really enjoy, and the most recent installation was excellent, is get onto college campuses and get after academics who are trying to indoctrinate students and inject their politics into the classroom. And, man, that story at St. Joe's in Pennsylvania was really something about what that comm studies department had said, and then you trying to get him to elaborate on what he said in classroom when you confronted him on campus.
Yeah, I mean, it's ironic that the head of the communications department can't really communicate when you put a camera in his face.
Yeah.
And St. Joe still has not taken any action. This guy's in the classroom telling students that white Trump voters don't open your heart up to them. They're bad people, and that the Trump administration is going to lead to death in America. And, we just try to hold people accountable, that's all. And he didn't want to talk, and that's fine. But he was pretty embarrassed out there. So hopefully, more and more professors that do this, they're going to be held accountable.
Are you going to go to Michigan State University soon because they're banning, you can't display whiteboards outside your dorm room anymore? Because
it's a tool of harassment.
It might be some offensive words.
I have not heard about that story, but thanks for bringing it to my attention. As a matter of fact, I just got back from a campus outside of Philadelphia the other day where they have White Privilege Month. People are walking around wearing pins to acknowledge and apologize for their white privilege. So that's going to be on the show this weekend at 7 o'clock your time and 8 o'clock Eastern. So I asked people, if you could change your race, would you change your race? And these people said, oh, no, I'd stay white. And then I'd say, so you like your white privilege? And they go,
Hey, I have a great idea for a segment for you. So last January, in the month alone, 452 people escaped America and went into Canada. There's a small town near Quebec that you could go to, and you can interview them crossing into Canada from America. What do you think? Why are you doing it? What are you running from?
That's right. Yes, that northern border is not very secure.
No, not at all.
Right, yes.
I don't mind if celebrities cross there. If Lena Dunham wants to go to Canada, that's fine. But maybe we'll have to build a wall so she doesn't come back.
I think even Justin Trudeau would draw the line at Lena Dunham. He is Jesse Waters. He's the O'Reilly Factor correspondent and the host of Waters World. This Saturday night, 7 p.m. Chicago time. You're going to want to check it out. He's live he'll be live at CPAC. He'll be giving you what's happening at CPAC, reactions to the controversy surrounding Milo Yiannopoulos, as well as talking to illegal immigrants about how they got here, interviewing Tucker Carlson, going to that college in Pennsylvania that you just mentioned, celebrating White Privilege Month of sorts. Jesse Waters, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. See you later, Amy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and congratulations on all your success. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.